Dan Campbell talks about Breshad Perriman, Tom Kennedy, Craig Reynolds. We're going to talk about injury updates to DeAndre Swift and TJ Hockenson. Is it looking good? We shall see. Also, we're going to talk about Frank the Tank Ragnow getting screwed over. Somewhat normal. The Detroit Lions get down to 80 players on the roster. 5 got cut. What is going to happen? Should the Detroit Lions look to get some more talent on this team? Maybe at wide receiver, maybe at safety, maybe at linebacker. We're going to get all into that and more. Let's begin. Before we get into the meat and bones of this video, if you're not a subscriber, and 54% of you are not, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're watching anyways, you might as well subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest news and rumors regarding our Detroit Lions. And hit that like button. Just go down to it, click it, get to 200 likes in this video. Let's start with the news. We're going to lead off this with Frank Ragnow, the Lions' great center who got screwed again. Like always, a lot of Detroit Lions players that are good tend to always get the shaft. How did he get the shaft here? Well, he was left off the top 100 players list. Yes, TJ Hockenson was on there. It was nice to see him get recognized. But Frank Ragnow, who I believe is one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL, obviously one of the best centers in the NFL, got left off there. And look, it's no secret that Detroit Lions players tend to always not to be recognized. And specifically when your team is bad, they definitely don't get recognized. This just happens. It happens all the time. If you look at Pro Bowl snubs throughout the years, you look at through all that information, it happens to us quite a bit. This is nothing new. And guess what? Frank Ragnow got it this time. At the end of the day, does it really matter? Not really, but I would like to see good players get recognized, and it's always good to see that. And so it kind of sucks that Frank Ragnow did not get recognized, but guess what? It's not going to change the play in the field. He's not going to do any worse. He is a tank, and he's going to keep chugging along. So I will recognize you, Frank Ragnow. You're the one of the best in the NFL. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 15,000 subscribers. We're real close. All you got to do is smash that subscribe button. Why do you want to do that? Well, I'm dropping news and rumors every single day. Everything about Detroit Lions, live watch parties. So if you want your Lions fix, hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about Dan Campbell talking about Breshad Perriman. Some interesting nuggets came out in this. I think it's hard to say right now, Campbell responded when asked about Perriman. There's just hasn't been enough out there. He was solid the other night, second preseason game versus Pittsburgh, but yet he had an offensive pass interference, which he knows better than. Didn't need to do that. His speed and the route are enough to where he would win on that. I think he'll be better coming off the hip. He kind of got a game under him, but I think that the wide receiver room right now is still up for grabs. I think there's a heavy competition going on in that room right now. Those words are quite interesting regarding Breshad Perriman and our head coach. The assumption is Breshad Perriman would come in and be the number 2. Now, we have seen in practice that Khalif Raymond has been taking some reps, and when the game was on, Breshad Perriman did not show out. Does this spell that he may not make the team? No, I do not believe that's the case. I do think he's going to make the team, even though maybe some would suggest he's not worthy of making that. Still, I think he will make this football team. He does need to get better, and yes, he doesn't need to be doing pass interference. He should be able to get open. That's not the biggest question mark when it comes to Breshad Perriman. It is his catching ability. Just catch the football because he gets drops. But it is quite nice to see that our head coach is transparent about the situation when it comes to this whole team, and specifically with Perriman itself, because these players must be held up to a standard, and you must be able to play at a high level. And if you're unable to do so, maybe somebody else can come in and fill that spot. Breshad Perriman's got to get better. He has another chance here when it comes to the Lions versus Indianapolis Colts to show some more skill. It is interesting to see that Dan Campbell left that nugget out there about Perriman, it does leave a little less certainty that Breshad Perriman is good to go when it comes to the 53-man roster. Tom Kennedy and Craig Reynolds. These two are individuals trying to make this roster spot. Now, will they make the roster? That is the big question. And how many wide receivers and how many running backs are going to be on this roster will dictate the future of Tom Kennedy and Craig Reynolds. If the Lions decide to go 3 quarterbacks, that's going to subtract 1 roster spot from potentially a running back and or a wide receiver. So it will be very vital to see if they decide to go 3 or 2. In my opinion, both these players should be on this roster. Not saying they are going to be. Now, I do have Tom Kennedy not making this roster at 55% to 45%. Now, when Dan Campbell talked about him, it was glowingly. Talked very well about Tom Kennedy. Maybe the Breshad Perriman situation could affect him making the roster. I don't know. These two individuals are going to be the people that I'm paying attention to in this Indianapolis Colts game. Can Tom Kennedy replicate the success that he had versus the Pittsburgh Steelers? And Craig Reynolds, can he replicate the success that he had the Bills and the Steelers to make this roster? That is another question mark. He deserves to be on this team. He deserves to have a roster spot. He showed to me that he has the tangibles and intangibles to be a quality number 3 back on this football team. And if there's an injury to Swift or Jamal Williams, he could come in there and do a decent job. But this is going to be extremely important, this preseason game, for the future of these players. I am rooting for both of them. I want to see both of them on this football team, so hopefully everything can work out. Comment, do you want to see these starters play in the final preseason game versus Indianapolis Colts? This one is simple. Y for yes, N for no. Starters play or don't. The Detroit Lions cut 5 players to trim down to 80 yesterday. And yes, Darius Jennings, P.J. Johnson, as well as Robert McCray, Javon Leake, and Jordan Ta'amu got cut. This is no surprise here. These individuals were definitely in the back end of the roster. When it comes to Jordan Ta'amu, he was just added to the roster last week. And maybe he could be an individual placed on the practice squad when they want to develop the practice squad. But none of these individuals are a surprise for this team. P.J. Johnson, the former Detroit Lion last year who was drafted, he didn't really show anything. And the depth at defensive tackle is extremely good. So it's hard for him to make there. Robert McCray came in as a free agent. Didn't do enough to impress. And still, these individuals are not on the team. We still have some more cuts to go to get to 53. And after this preseason game, we'll see how this roster looks. The Detroit Lions have had injuries, and 2 individuals, the main parts of the Lions offense, has not played in preseason games yet. We're talking about DeAndre Swift as well as TJ Hockenson. And though in practice yesterday, these guys were practicing, the injuries were known to be minor. However, not seeing them in preseason does put up a question mark, but it was really nice to see that they were practicing yesterday in Lions training camp. Dan Campbell stated that he is concerned about the groin injury of DeAndre Swift and a possibility that he may not be available for Week 1 versus the San Francisco 49ers. Yes, he's practiced yesterday. Yes, he did some movement, but obviously it was not at full capacity. Obviously, there's some lingering issues going on. Obviously, that is concerning because we need to have DeAndre Swift at 100% for us to be successful in any way of running the football because he is our number 1 guy. We got to have him on the field. We got to really take note of this. This is big because this offense should revolve around DeAndre Swift. He should be the main guy that this offense really works with, when it comes to not just running the football, but also passing the football. Man, that's scary. It sucks. Also, he's concerned about Deshaun Hand as well. His is a little bit different because he's consistently been nicked up. He's an individual that's always getting hurt. Can he stay consistently healthy? That's yet to be seen. And this brings you to the question of start or sit when it comes to this final preseason game. Look, in years past, the fourth preseason game, no starter plays. But in the third preseason game, they generally play for the first half. In this case, this is different. There's only 3 preseason games. My personal opinion, and what I want to see, is I don't want to see the starters play. I know what I got right now with TJ Hockenson, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams, and Jared Goff. I have a good idea what I have with these players. I don't even really need to see Amon-Ra St. Brown play, even though he's a rookie. I don't want an injury to happen, a significant injury that will hamper the success of the regular season. There's no point in putting it there. Yes, these players need rep, but the last thing we need, Lions luck, would be Jared Goff goes down. DeAndre Swift goes down. Significant injury happens, terrible luck. That would be the Lions luck, and that's the last thing we need for this football team. I am ready already for the regular season. I am ready to see what this team looks like at full capacity, not backups, and see how this offense and this defense can show themselves in the regular season under the leadership of Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes. That's what I want to see. But I am just one individual. What do you guys think? Do you guys want to see the players start? Do you want to see Jared Goff? Do you want to see the main starters get some playing time versus the Indianapolis Colts? Let me know in the comment section. Hey, I am just one opinion. That's it. You guys are the channel. You guys run the channel. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this. In the upcoming videos, we got the One Pride podcast on my channel at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. On Thursday, it's going to be a fun interactive show. If you got questions, regardless if they're Lions or not, let me know in the comment section. Also, Friday, we're doing the Lions vs. Colts live watch party. After that, every single game except for Thanksgiving, watch party on my channel. It's going to be fun. We're going to be talking about the Lions vs. Colts, what we want to see, and obviously after the game, we're going to talk about the reactions, winners and losers, and get ready for the regular season.